Feixiao is finally due for her first rerun, and we're going to be going over her general playstyle, if she got any major changes, some weaknesses, and is she still relevant in the current meta, and what the future for her is going to look like. Feixiao is the queen of follow-up attacks. Her entire kit revolves around you and your teammates attacking enemies a lot, which will help her generate her ultimate, and frankly it will destroy any boss that comes across your path. Now, she released in version 2.5, and since then she has stayed at the very top of the meta and has set the ceiling even higher in terms of DPS units. She dominates by using follow-up attack teams, her premier team being Fire, but her free-to-play options such as Hunt March or Mose are amazing because frankly, Feixiao does so much damage through her ult that the premier team is really just extra. Now, is she still worth it? Going into version 3, we're getting Summon meta, which is going to be the primary focus, I would assume. That being said, Feixiao has a very future-proof kit as of this age. First off, she gains her ult by her and her teammates attacking enemies very often. This is why Topaz, Aventurine, Robin, Mose, and Hunt March are all amazing for her, as they have follow-up attacks that allow her to gain extra stats outside of their turn. Why am I bringing up summons? Well, because summon attacks count as follow-ups, and who did we just get as a summon support that can instantly make summons go? Now, I'm not saying you can just slap Feixiao as a sub DPS slash main DPS on your summon team, but you kinda can. Feixiao doesn't have any team restrictions like Acheron. She just wants teammates that attack fast and attack often. It just so happens that follow-up units do all of that. Not only this, but if we look at her ultimate, which is her main source of damage, she ignores weakness type and does a disgusting amount of toughness bar damage, while still doing significant HP damage as well. And when you pair her with her core units, it will take maybe 1 to 2 ults to break any enemy as she stacks very fast and hits very hard. Not only this, but she has insane damage multipliers as well that allow her to just shred HP bars with ease. She's essentially what Acheron aspires to be at E0S0. Yeah, no light cone required. And you can use Hunt March, who is free, and Mose. Both are 4 stars that greatly benefit Feixiao, while they themselves do good damage and boost follow-up damage. So what are some of the issues with her? Well, if you want to play her ideally, you want her in follow-up teams. If you don't like follow-up teams, she is not for you. She is tailored for that archetype and it remains to be her utmost strongest by far. Additionally, building Feixiao can be pretty awful, or great depending on your luck. Feixiao wants as much crit rate as possible. You really want to strive for 100% while still having a bit of crit damage. Now, hold on. Yes, she wants a lot of crit rate, but her relic sets being the Wind Soaring and Durin give her an ideal team 61% crit damage for free on her ult. However, if we look at her Ascension passive, she gains an additional 36% crit damage just by using her ult for free. So she wants all of her attacks to crit, making you want to hyper focus on crit rate, at the trade-off of gaining 97% free crit damage when you play her in follow-up teams. But if her hits don't crit, she won't do damage. And yes, Wind Soaring and Durin are still her best relic options. Now, another downside is the difference between her premium sustain, that being Aventurine, and a good free-to-play option, being Gallagher, is pretty huge. Not only does Aventurine sustain much better, but Aventurine can proc his follow-up attack at such a high frequency in this meta, providing Feixiao with just so many stacks. Gallagher does this as he can basic ult basic and that'll help out Feixiao, but in terms of overall performance, she's lacking in other options outside of Aventurine. Now let's discuss Powercreep. Will the new shiny units take her T0 throne? To be honest, most likely. However, her damage will still be extremely competitive with her premium team against the new summon units. She is still going to be a damage powerhouse and stay as a top tier unit throughout version 3. Now, a big downside of Feixiao is her pure fiction performance, as she's mainly a single target damage dealer. Yes, pre-version 2.7 she could kill these smaller enemies really fast. While she wasn't the best choice in this game mode, she was still a decent option if you had her. However, with the new pure fiction, she is fantastic in it. Essentially, there is now a main boss that will spawn and you can kill, and that will give you all the points in that wave, making pure fiction a lot easier for her, which makes her incredibly strong in all 3 game modes as of right now. Now, let's talk about investment. The best way for you to spend your Jades on Feixiao is by first getting her a Robin and filling out her signature team before even thinking about going for the Light Cone or the Eidolon. Now, if you're someone who's happy with whatever team you're using, we can discuss her vertical investment options. Her signature Light Cone isn't actually too crazy. it gives her a bit of crit rate and allows her ult to ignore 27% of these enemies' defense. Defense ignore is really good if you can stack it, but sadly none of her teammates can really help you stack. I really like cruising. Not only is it free, but at S5 it provides more crit rate and gives her a very nice attack boost. But Final Victor is still a very good option as well. Now looking at her E1, this multiplies Feixiao's ult damage, giving her a very nice damage boost to her personal damage. However, her E2 mixes together with every follow-up attack launched by an ally, this gives her 1 full point. And like I said earlier, she's on a follow-up attack team. She already gets her ult incredibly fast with her premium units. But this, it's overkill, but in a good way. Her E2 is a fantastic stopping point, but you truly don't need it. My Feixiao is E0S0, and she absolutely slaughters everything. Overall, very good Eidolons. I still say get Robin before any of them, but if you want to vertical invest, definitely E1 over S1 and even E2 over S1. I think Feixiao is going to stay a disgusting unit for a while, and I don't see her falling off. She's a great pickup for accounts with even a bit of investment into follow-up units. She's not the greatest for beginners, but if you manage to get her going, you will like what you'll see. Let me know what y'all think though. Are you going to pull her? Are you going to skip her? I hope you win your 50-50s, and I'll see you in the next one.